Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to a new playthrough on the channel. We've had a busy weekend on the channel, and that's going to continue as we take a trip out to the golf course as we're playing APBA Golf by APBA Games. We are going to be playing at the Hamptons today, and the golfer we're taking out is one of the all-time greats in Colin Montgomery. I do need to grab a few extra clubs as well, so I'm going to grab a 3-wood, a 5-wood, and a 3-iron. So we will be at the Hamptons today. Hopefully we'll get through all 18 of these holes. We also need to set up for what pin we are rolling, what pin we're aiming at today. So let's roll for that. We are aiming at pin 2 today, which on every hole, I've got a few of these different post-it flags that I'm using. Red is where the ball is. Red's going to be where the ball is. Blue is where I'm aiming. Green is always going to be where the pin is. So in this case, on our first hole, which is a par 4 399 yarder, pin 2 is going to be right there. We're going to be playing as simple as we can. We're just going to be playing the basic game. I'm not going to use any of the master rules. So, I think since we are all set, we can jump right into this one. Now, for our first order of business, we've got a dogleg here at about the 250-yard mark. And as usual, well, we're going to try playing with the doglegs today. So to measure this one, this hole looks to be using the center line here, looks to be a slight 2-to-1 dogleg. So for every 2 squares we go over on the center line, we move 1 to the left. So we're gonna try the doglegs. We'll see how long that lasts. So we're gonna call this a 2-to-1 dogleg. Oop. Try to turn that back. We're going to adjust that just a little bit. Okay, then our special, that a note for... Okay, so we're adding 20 yards to the flight of all tee shots. For all shots coming to rest on the fairway, but beyond the 350-yard marker, ball will roll 1 square straight or diagonal directly away from the green where it stops. All right. So looking at our first shot, I think we're just going to grab the driver here. Now I've got to figure out where I want to put this. So given that he likes to hit his drivers to the right, I think I want to aim a little bit to the left. So I think we're going to try to aim this about... Let's see, what's his average? A 7. 7 is 250. That's going to be right on the dog leg. So let's see if we can put that. Since he likes to hit right, I'm going to aim 10 left. Because his average is actually 250, left 10. So I think with that in mind, you know what? We're actually going to aim in the other direction since his odds, actually it's about even, and his average is to the right. So I'm going to his average is to the left, so I'm going to aim to the right. So let's see what happens with our first shot. We'll roll D66 and a 32. Uh-oh, that's going to be problematic. 32 is a 26. And a 26 is, yikes, 245, right 40. So, 245, that's a terrible drive. Right 40, roll 25, yowza. And we have to add 20 yards to the flight of all tee shots. That's actually 265. So now where the ball's going, We're going to use yellow to track the we're actually going to add one more flag in. We're going to add yellow to help me track the progress of the ball. And then red is going to be... Then red's going to be where it comes to rest. So the blue flag can come out of my way. So we're at 265, 250, 255, 260, 265. So that's where the flight's stopping. Actually, right 40. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So it's going to be so it's going to land here. And then it's rolling 40. So it's going to be rolling. So it's landing here. It's going to roll 5 and land in the sand. So it's actually, so based on that, it's actually rolling over here. So 5, 10, 15, 20. So it's actually landing right there in the sand. So let's bring the red flag in. So it's landing right there in the sand. Aside from the fact that it's landing that it landed in the sand, that's actually not a completely terrible shot. We are coming out of the sand though for our second shot, so we'll need to roll on the sand chart. That's a fairway bunker, so we have to check our lie. .26. Okay, that's a normal lie, so at least that's something. So we have to decide. So, fairway bunker. This is our second shot. So now the question is, do we want to play it safe? We want to play it safe and come back to the center line, or do we want to play aggressively? So fortunately we've got a normal lie. This is a par 4. Let's see, that should be greater than 100 yards out. So we're definitely, we would have to go, let's see, 5, 10, 15, might be a little bit hard to see, but 5, 10, 15 back, and back to the center line. So we're actually more like 110 yards away, since we're having to go back to the center line. The question is, are we going to try to be aggressive with this, or are we going to pop it right back to the center line, or are we going to play aggressively? And I think the answer here is we're going to... So we got a normal lie. We got lucky on the normal lie. But I think we're going to play this one... So a normal lie. Yeah, I think we're going to hit this one with a... We're coming out of the sand. I think we use a sand wedge. Let's see, what's his average with an iron? His average with an iron is a 6. So I think here we hit a... I want to put a little more club on it than even sand wedge. His average with the sand wedge is 90. It would be 95 it would be 90 if I hit it knockdown. Let's see, 105, 110. I think on an average, even a 9-iron knockdown is probably too much club. I think we're gonna use a pitching wedge to come out of this. Let me just double check here. Hit shot, then roll under poor lie. Okay, so we do get our normal shot. So yeah, we're gonna go pitching wedge for carry. I've got my dice in there. Now the question is, where do I want to put this ball? Do I want to try to go for the pin? Yeah, I think we're just going to go for the pin here. So let's see what happens. That's a 54, which on irons is a 19. That sounds problematic. 19 is going to be 85, right 15. So that's not going to... Actually, yeah. 85, we hit it carry, so that's 95, right 15. So we'll come back to the center line. So we started from here on the center line. 5, 10, 35, 60, 85, 90, 95, right 15. And is there any kind of roll on that? Roll is 0. Actually, we're just off the green in this one. So actually we'll bring so we want to be there with the red flag. Okay, which means we're going to be hitting an approach shot on our third. We're hitting approach on our third shot. So 5, 10, 15 back to the center line. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Looks like we want an approach shot of 35 yards. So yeah. We'll find the book, approach 35, and we're coming off the fairway. There's my other die. .25 on an approach shot is a 5. So that's a -5, which means we get 30 yards out of that. So if we start from here, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Which means we need to roll to see how far we ended up away from the green. So we should be... So on the green, once we land there, we are... What are we? Finishing a straight grid away, 15 minus 2 dice. And we are a straight segment away, so 15 minus 2 dice is a 5, so we're 10 feet away. So we're looking at our fourth shot being a 10-foot putt to try to save par. Just going to look at my putting charts. Does 10 feet... Yep, 10 feet does give us the option of if we want to go for it. And I think we will. We'll go for it to try to save par. 36 on putting. Uh-oh, is it 24? That doesn't sound like it's going to be in. Nope, that'll be 2 feet away. So now we're 2 feet away and we're trying to make bogey. 63 is a 29 on a 3-foot putt. What did we say? 63 was a 29. So if it's putt for par or higher, is in. So we're actually going for we are actually putting for bogey, which means we are in. So we end up 2-putting the green, and we're already 1 over on the day. Gross. All right, let's see what the second hole has in store for us here at the Hamptons. Okay, par 2. This is actually a pretty straightaway hole. So the pin is right there. We are currently at the tee, of course. So we're adding 10 yards to the flight of all... Actually, there was... Excuse me. Okay. Alright, special rules here. Add 10 yards to the flight of all tee shots. For all putts, read the column for double the actual putt distance of putting from the front end of the green and triple if putting from the back. For all missed putts, double any remaining distance shown on the putting chart to get the actual putt distance for the next putt. So that probably tells me that this hole is on a heavy downhill. That could be at least mildly problematic. Let's see, so 225, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. So 260, do I just grab the driver and grip it and rip it? No, that's actually a little much. Well, maybe. Yeah, sounds like it's just... His average would be 250 left 10. I mean, his average says we would land right on the pin on the driver. So, I mean, you know what? F it. Let's try it. We're just going to grab the driver and grip it and rip it. Actually, that's a 41, which is an 8. And an 8, actually I forgot to note where I wanted to put this ball. Well, we were going to aim, we're going straight for the pin at this point. Let's see how close we get to it, though. So, what did we say, 41? 41 was an 8. Which means we go 245, right 10, roll 25. So, actually that's 255. Right 10, roll 25. I probably should have taken a little bit of club off of this one because we add 10 to the flight of all tee shots. So 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. So I'm going to grab the... So 55, that's where we're progressing right now. We were aiming here, so right 10... brings us back to the center line, and then roll 25. 10, 15, 20, 25. So we actually overshot the green quite a bit. Actually, it landed on the green, so does that reduce the roll amount? No. So yeah, we actually overshot the green pretty badly on that one. Now we want an approach shot of 5, 10, 15, 20. No, not quite 25, so we'll call it approach. We'll call it approach 25. So now we need to get our approach shot. 66, that should be good. Approach shot is a 5. So that's an approach, that was an approach 25. So that was a 5, which is a -5 off the fairway, so approach 20. So 5, 10, 15, 20. Which means we end up right there. And since we're 2 straight segments away, that should be 30 feet minus 2 dice. Right. All straights are, yep, okay, so 30 feet minus 2 dice. 30 feet minus 8 is 22 feet. So we've got a 22-foot putt, and we're trying to save par. I think he's going to have... Ooh, he's got a lot of high numbers on his card, so I think we're just going to play it safe. There are a lot of high putting numbers on Montgomery's card. Like a 44, which is a 9, 22 feet playing it safe. safe. That'll be a tap-in. So he'll make a tap-in putt, which means he ended up 2-putting the green. He's at +1, and he's 2 over on the day here at the Hamptons. That does not seem like it's going well at all for him today. But let's look at our third hole here at the Hamptons, and we've got another dogleg coming into this one. Pin 2 is right here. And this one is a... Let's see, the dogleg here is a gentle dogleg, which is going to the left. So as we adjust to the center line, let's see. Looks like this one is a 1, 2, 3, 4 to 1 dogleg to the left. Yowza. Okay. And then the special rules here. Gentle dogleg at 315 yards from the tee. 15 to the flight of all tee... Oh, I should have been reading the double the distance on the last hole. 22-foot putt would have been from 44, which... Yeah, would have been actually pretty bad on that one, but I'm not going to worry about it now. Add 15 to the flight of all tee shots. For all tee shots that land or roll past 300, add 20 to the flight of any remaining roll. And for all putts, read the result for double the actual putt distance. Right. So if we know we've got 15 more on the tee shot, do we still grab the driver and let it rip? I think we do, actually. So yeah, we'll grab the driver and we'll let it rip. .35 is a 6, which is not quite as average. 6 is 255, which plus 15 is going to be 270. So 270, and once again I forgot to say where I was putting this. I'm aiming for the center line, I guess. Right 15, roll 25. Alright, so we'll use the yellow flag once again to mark the progress of the ball. So 270, right 15, 5, 10, 15, and roll 25. 5, 10, 15, 25. Place that with being right there. So now we're looking to hit into the dogleg. So now for the second shot, we want... What do I want to do here? Question is, where do I want this blue flag to go? Because this is our second shot. Let's put this one... Let's see. If we're looking for an iron shot... Actually, are we looking for an iron shot, or do I want a wood here? No, I think I want an iron. The question is... I did bring a 3-iron with me. Let's go for... Let's see, an average is a 6 on his iron, which would be 195. That would put it... So actually, 5, 10, 15, so we're really lining up. So we're really lining up 5, 10, 15 from back here, moving back to the center line. But we do have that 4 to 1 dogleg to worry about. So right now we are 175, 80, 85, 90, 95, 200. We're basically 200, call it 210 yards away. Which makes me, I did bring a 5-wood, but I think a 5-wood is probably, is a 5-wood too much club though? 3-wood definitely would be too much club for this. So let me recalculate this again. So 175, 80, we're actually about 100. We're about 185 yards out from where we want to be. So 185 yards. So yeah, now that I've got that number in front of me, a 5-wood is definitely too much club. Even a 3-iron's probably a little bit too much. So I think here, and as a 4-iron, enough. I think the answer is that I probably do want a, let's see, his average is 190 on a 3-iron to 180 on a 4-iron. I think I'm going to grab the 3-iron here. So we're basically just going, let's see, left 5, and his average goes right. So I think we are just going to go for the pin here. And we'll give this a roll. That's a 24 on an iron shot. That is a 6. Which that means we can actually take 5 or 10 yards. We can actually, average means we can take up to 5 off the roll, I believe. Let's see. Moving 5 left or 5 right. So on his 3-iron, that's 190 left 5. And it looks like we're going to be putting this on the green. So 15-10. Okay. So we're going to take this. So we're at 185 here. So 185.90. We are going to take the... Okay, so we were aiming here. So we were overshooting the pin a little bit. Right... What was that? Right 10... Actually, left 5, which we're actually going to keep that dead center. And then we're going to roll 10 because we're landing on the green. So 10. And we're ending up... We'll pull the blue flag away. We're ending up 1, 2, 3 straight segments away. So we're 45 minus 2 dice. $45 minus 5, yikes, is 40 feet away. So we're going to be reading double the actual putt distance, which means we're basically reading from a long way away. So we're looking at 80 feet away. That sounds to me like we're playing that very safe. As I send the dice flying. Excuse me. Gaseous today. So we'll bring the red flag over, since that's where we're at on the pin. On the green. So looking at 80 feet away, 56 is a 24. And since we're reading from 61 to 100 feet away, 24, that's a 10-foot putt. Which means, once again, we're reading from double the distance. And we're trying to save par. I think we got to go for it if we're trying to save par. So we're reading from 20 feet away, and we're going for it. 13 is a 25. That is not likely to be in. 25, that's 5 feet away. So 5 feet away, and we're reading the actual result from double the column. 24, jeez, is a 28. Well, I think one thing I'm learning here, and we're probably going for it, so a 28 is 3 feet away. Wow. Apparently Colin Montgomery was a terrible putter, because we are three putting the third hole at least. So 3 feet away, looking at 6 feet. 36 is a 24, which a bogey or higher is in. So yeah. Let's see, that was 3. This is a par 4. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yowza. So we 4-putt the green. So we 4-putt that one. We're 2 over. And we're 4 over on the day. Good grief. So I think I picked the wrong golfer for putting today. Our fourth hole is another pretty bad dog leg. So let's take a look at this one. It's got a dog leg at about 305. Okay. So we're going to measure this dog leg out. Let's see, from the center line, that's going to be, looks like that's a 1, actually, yeah, it looks like a 2-to-1 dog leg to the left. So that's what we're looking at there. Let's bring that back down here. And we'll put the pin. Our pin is just to the left of the center line. It was actually just to the right of the center line. So I definitely want to grip this and rip it, and I want to put it... Where do I want to put this? That's the question. Let's see. Where do I want to put this? Let's see. The average is left 10 with the driver. So if I go 250, right 10. Actually, right 10 would be over here. So I'm going to aim... We're going to try to put this one left 10 so I can use the average, hopefully, to bring it back to the center line. But let's see what happens when I do that. That's a 51 on a wood, which is a 6 just out of his... And all tee shots when using the wind, which we're not. All shots coming to rest on the green or on or in front of the red line, roll an additional 10 yards backwards. And for all putts, read the result for double the actual putt distance. A 51, though, as we established, is a 6. We're not adding anything to tee shots this time. So we're 255, right 15, roll 25. So we'll bring the yellow flag in. 255, and we were aiming here, so right 15. And we're rolling 25. 5, 10, 15, 25. So we'll bring the red flag in right here for what's not a bad tee shot at all. Okay. I've got my phone right here. I do want to keep an eye on things there. Hold up. Okay. Looks like my shopper's moving for my Meyer order this morning. Okay. Back to business, though. So we actually ended up with a very nice tee shot. We've got a 2-to-1 dogleg that we're worrying about here, though. So, I might want to just try to lay this one up if I can. The question is, where do I want to put this shot? Let's see. I'm at, 5, 10, 15, 25, 125, 150, 175, 80, 85, 90, 95. So I'm 195 away from the pin, but from the pin, but I've also got to account for the dog leg. So what do I want to do to account for that dog leg? Let's see. How much club do I want to put on this? I didn't bring a 2-iron with me today, so I think the club I've got to reach for here is my 3-iron. And on average, I tend to hit my 3-irons to the right. So I think with that in mind, I want to aim a little bit to the left of the center line. So I want to try to put this ball, let's see, 190 would be 460. So if I can put this ball right about there, I think I'd be happy with that. Let's see what the dice have in store. $24 is actually my average, so that's perfect. So that is actually that looks to be exactly what I wanted. 195, left 5, roll 10. So aside from the roll, actually, we're going to subtract off the, since I was aiming to the left, I'm actually going to take the, so we're actually going to put it there, so 195, we're actually going to knock off that flight, and then it's going to roll 10. So 5, 10 onto pin 6, but then we roll an additional 10 back, so we're actually ending up right about there, which means I should have put a little more club on this one. Then we have, ooh, this is going to be a long putt. We are 1, 2 diagonals and a straight away. So the diagonals, I believe, are 20 feet each. The diagonals are 20, so we're 2 diagonals and a straight, so 40 and 15 is 55. So we're 55 feet minus 2 dice. Minus 8 is 47 feet away. Read the putt for double the actual distance. Yikes, so that's a 47-foot putt. We are definitely playing that safe. We'll get over to putting. That's a 15. That sounds like trouble. An 11, though, that's maybe... Okay, 47 reading from 61 to 100 on an 11, and we were playing it safe. That's a 2-foot putt. Okay, so this is our second putt, and we're trying to save par on this par 4, 475-yard hole. That's a 54, and a 32 does not sound like it's going to get it done. .32 reading from 4 feet away. Is it? So it's almost like we didn't even knock anything. We didn't even make any headway on the result. So another 2-foot putt. So it's like we hit the ball and it just didn't move, or we just completely overshot it. 15 is an 11. So reading from 4 feet away, and 11, okay, that one's in. So we got up there in 2 and ended up 3-putting the green. 5 over on the day. Not exactly where I wanted to be. Odds are we may not even finish the back 9 the way this round is going. And our 5th hole, a par 5, 589-yard beast. We'll find our pin all the way up here in the middle of Lala. All the way up here, which seems like a mile away at this point. We'll check our dogleg real quick. This dogleg is going to the left. And it's at the 300-yard mark. Let's see, we've got, straighten that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 to 1, dogleg to the left. Joy, joy. And I got a little condensation on my components bag. But yeah, given that we're 5 over on the day already, actually I've been using green to mark the pin, not blue. So we'll stick with that consistency. Let's see. I think we just grabbed the driver here and grip it and rip it. Nothing crazy here, folks. So I think, where do we want to put this on? So based on the average, I'm going to aim a little bit to the right. Ugh. Aiming to the right is going to put me in the sand, though. Actually, no. Aiming to the left. Yeah, we'll aim 5 right to see if we can use the average to get out of the sand. .62 is a 7, so that is our average, which that will actually work out pretty well. So 250, left 10, roll 25. So as we follow the progress of the ball, 250, left 10, which will take, so we're at, come on, 250, since we were aiming here, left 10, which roll 25, but because we're landing in deep rough, how much of the roll gets cut down? At least half. I know in fairway rough the roll gets cut in half. The question is does it get cut by more than that when you land in deep rough? Let's see how to use the dice. We know all of that. Okay, that landed in the fairway or the... Oh, there's probably a different roll. No. I only see roll 25. I'm still trying to figure out how much of the roll gets cut down when you land in deep rough. And like I said, I know it's at least in half. But I'm not sure how much more than that we lose. Let's see here. Let's see. Ball's landing in the rough. Okay, looks like it just gets cut in half. So we get 12 and a half of the roll essentially. I'll round that off to 15. So 5, 10, 15, and we somehow end up in the fairway. So not Not a bad first shot, all things considered, but now we've got to deal with this dog leg. And unfortunately, the dog leg is to the right. So with that in mind, I think I'd probably want to hit this into the dog leg a little bit more to try to compensate. So I think the way that we want to do that, let's see, the question is, what club do I want for this? Do I want the 3-wood here? I think the answer to that is I probably do want the 3-wood. So we're going to put this ball, so we're going to try to put this, where do we want to put this? His average is still a 7 with the 3-wood, which that's 235 left 10. So 235 would probably put him, let's see, so that's 265, 235 would be 500 even. So I would put him right about here. And I think I want to aim this, I'm just marking the center line because I still have to account for the dog leg. I'm marking this, I'm marking the center line, but like I said, I'm still trying to figure out how I want to account for the dog leg. And I think we're going to aim this 15 right. Because I'm expecting the dog leg is going to create some problems with how this shot's going to fly. So let's see how that goes. So we are at, currently, what did we say, 260, 5, so 260 to 550, 190, 195, 200, 220, 225. Okay, let's do math again, Phoenix. 190, 195, 200, 205, 210, 215, 220. Actually, a 220 makes me think a 3-wood's going to be a little too much club. And I did bring a 5-wood with me, so let's reach for the 5-wood instead. Same logic. .46 is a 7, which is our average, which could be problematic. Well, maybe not. So 5-wood, 215, left 10, roll 10. Okay, so if we went 215. All right, so 5, 10, 15, 40. And this was a 5-to-1 dog leg. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So hold on. So how many more of these are we going to be moving over? Let's see. This was actually... So we're at... So we got to 10, 35... 50, 65. So it looks like every yard marker we're moving over. So that's 65, 90. 90 is 115. 140. 165. 165, 190. This is problematic. 2. Let's see, 190, 215. So we're actually about here. We're actually about where we wanted it. So we're up here, left 10, which we're going to add. Do we get to add 5 with that roll as well? I'm actually looking at that and realizing that's a really bad shot. So an average has the choice of moving 5 left or 5 right. We are actually going to take another 5 on the left roll. So we're all the way up here. We're on the left flight, 5, 10, 15. And we roll 10. So 5, 10. which is actually not a completely terrible shot. So we're actually up here. This will be our third shot we're getting ready for. Can we hit an approach shot from here? And actually, we could aim for the pin. 5, 10, 15 back to the center line. So 5, 10. Okay. So we're back here. 5, 10, 15, 15, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75. So that was an approach 75 is what we want here. Okay. Approach 75 is what we're looking for here, and we're on the fairway. .32 on an approach shot is a 13. Plus 10, so we're definitely overshooting the green. Plus 10. Okay. Okay, plus 10, right 5. So we wanted the pin, but we're actually coming up, we're actually overshooting. Plus 10, right 5. So we're there, which means we're 20 feet minus 2 dice. Please be manageable. I had 10 yards to the flight of all second shots. So that was probably even worse. Alright, 20 minus 10 is 10 feet away. For once, we don't have to double the result of the roll, or double the distance. So here we are going to go for it to try to make birdie. That's a 61. That's a 15. That does not sound like we're making it. Actually, we are making it. Actually, we are at 10 feet away. On a 15, we are in. Yep, 61 is a 15. In. So that's our first time we're getting a birdie on this course today. So we're still 4 over for the day. Still not a great day. Let's not kid ourselves on this. Let's see, our 6th hole is another dog leg. Joy, joy. And I think I'm starting to realize here that as much as I initially liked the shot thinking minutia of APBA Golf, I actually really enjoyed Dice Nuts Golf when I played that on the channel a couple of weeks ago. And I'd probably like Inside the Cup Golf a lot more as well. So definitely have to give that some thought in terms of making Dice Nuts and Inside the Cup my golf systems moving forward. Let's see. So we've got a normal dog leg here. I'm just calculating this out. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 1 dog leg. So it's actually a pretty gentle dog leg. And that's going to the left. Okay. The pin that we're aiming at is right there, and we've got special rules. Normal dogleg at 305 yards from the tee. Double the roll for all shots landing on the green that are not short approaches or putts. If such a shot has a stated roll of 0 or less, add 10 to the stated roll. All shots landing or rolling on the fairway or green, on or right of the red line, roll 5 yards for every 5-yard forward roll. For all first putts from behind the pin, read the result 1 column left of the actual putt distance. Read all other putts normally. Right. I think once again we grab the driver here. And once again we are using green to mark the pin, not blue. So where do I want to put this shot? Once again, on my average, 250 left 10. So I think we're going to go here, and I'm going to aim right 5. So let's see what we get here. That's a 21 on a wood, which is an 8. And we're not adding anything to the flight of the tee shot. So 245, right 10, roll 25. Excuse me. 245, right 10 plus 5. And since we are landing in the sand, we do still get half of the roll. So roll 25, and we'll call that 15. 5, 10, 15, which does put us back on the fairway, but now we've got the dog leg to worry about. And the dog leg. We established that's a 5-to-1 dog leg to the left. And I've got to get clear of this water hazard as well. What to do? Let's see. Where do I want this? Well, first of all, what do I want to reach for? Actually, where do I want to put this, and what do I want to reach for? Let's see. If I'm hitting into a 5-to-1 dog leg, I'm at 260, actually 5, 10, 15 back. So 5, 10, 15, actually, yeah. 10, right. 5, 10, 15, 20, 35, 60, 160, 180, 185, 90, 95, 200, 205, 10, 205, 220, 225. So 225 is what I am away. That sounds like an iron shot, but again, I've got to account for the dog leg. So 225. I didn't bring a 2-iron with me. I didn't bring a hybrid with me either. I did bring a 5-wood with me. 5-wood probably. A 3-wood is definitely too much club. So I'm probably going to lay this up, and I'm going to reach for my 5-wood. My average on a 5-wood is 215 left 10. So I want to aim this. So if I go back here, what did we say? 5. So 20 gets me there. 120. 225. And we're going to aim, we want to aim a little bit to the right, so I'm going to aim right 10. That's where we're going to try to put the ball. So let's see what happens here. That's a 53, which on a wood is a 10. Let's see, so that is 200 right 5. 200 right 5, roll 10. Let's see, so we start from here. We're probably overshooting the green here. So we fly into the dog leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that was from 255. So 255. So 20, 45, 70. All right, so we're over here, then here. So 70, 95, 120, 145, 170, 195, 200, right 10, 510, roll 5. So we're ending up just barely on the fairway with this one. And yeah, I'm already starting to tell here that I'm kind of starting to bounce a little bit off of the minutia of the shots here in APBA Golf. It's a game I've enjoyed, but I'm kind of getting to a point where I'm liking the simpler systems of golf. It's a very thinky game, I find, which I normally like, but I don't know what it is about APBA and actually that's going to extend to ASG Golf as well, where I'm starting to bounce off of that too, I think, in proximity to this. But yeah, I think we're going to probably finish this hole, but I think that'll be it for this stream after that. Because I can tell I'm actually not completely having fun with this one. Let's see, 5, 10, 15 back. So now I've got to figure out what kind of approach shot I want here. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So approach 40. And we're coming off the fairway just barely. So approach 40. There's a 32, that's a 13. If I remember correctly, we're overshooting that. No, it's a -5, so we're actually undershooting it. -5, right 5. So we're coming in here. Oop. So we're actually coming in 5 short and right 5. Which means we are 15 minus 2 dice. That's an 8, so we're 7 feet away. 7 feet away putting. We're going to go for it. Let's see if we're able to salvage the par here. Actually, yeah, we are trying to salvage par here. 43 is a 26. That is not likely to salvage par. On a 7-foot go. What did we say? 43, 26. 26, 7 feet go. We're 2 feet away. Oh joy. So 2 feet away. .43 is a 26 on a 2-foot putt. That better be in. Yep, so that is in, but unfortunately we made another bogey, so we had a 2-putt. We're 1 over and 5 over on the day, and that's actually where I'm going to call this stream of APBA Golf. You guys are probably watching me start to bounce off this game in real time, where I think it was just how well put together I thought Dice Nuts Golf was, where it actually takes a lot of the thinking out of the game for you. And it's actually a lot simpler. I was able to get a round of golf from Dice Nuts in just under an hour. Whereas this was when I first started playing sports games, I liked the shot minutia of this one. But now I think I'm at a point where I just really don't. And again, maybe it's just getting spoiled with how much faster Dice Nuts Golf plays, and actually how much cheaper the courses are to get a hold of, quite frankly. So I think moving forward, that's probably going to end up, that and Inside the Cup Golf, actually, those two systems are both fairly cheap to get a hold of. So those are probably going to be my main golf systems moving forward. Anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this video up, now that I'm rambling a bit. There will be at least one more game on the channel today, but I'm going to hold what that game is going to be close to the vest. As for what else is scheduled on the channel, Monday we will be having the monthly episode of Pinot with Phoenix for June 2025. Wednesday we're starting the 2009-10 hockey season replay, as we are starting off with our first game of Inside the Crease hockey for the season. We will be at, I believe it's TD Gardens. Let me double check the home stadiums here. Yep, TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts, as the Washington Capitals will be in town to visit the Boston Bruins. Saturday we'll be in a new cookbook for Mystical Munchies, but I'll have more on that during Pinot with Phoenix. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.